Life is a natural process that enables the universe to consciously perceive itself at specific points in space and to convince itself of its own existence. Life is an automatic process that begins as simple, not self-aware biological machines which are capable of making copies of themselves. Survival is only possible for beings that reproduce, while those that have no offspring quickly disappear from the scene. Living beings become more complex over time. Having eyes, for example, is a plus on planets orbiting a luminous star, which, as far as we know, is the case with all life-friendly planets. In addition, being able to perceive other stimuli and having a few extra gadgets, such as useful mutations, is also evolutionarily advantageous. In this way, life becomes more and more diverse over time. If evolution is allowed to run its course undisturbed and no global catastrophe sets everything back to zero, then the probability increases that at some point living beings will emerge who are able to produce tools. Beings that are no longer preoccupied with survival and their animalistic urges all day long, and who have the ability to change their environment at will for their own benefit. When self-awareness, conscious awareness, occurs in a species is difficult to say. Possibly it happens automatically when a certain level of development is reached. Fortunate coincidences, such as naturally existing psychoactive substances consumed accidentally or ritually, also influence this process. What happens to conscious species from this point on is very difficult to predict and depends on many unknown and random factors. Many will probably have already reached this stage of development, and a similar number is most likely already extinct, even if the universe were not infinite in duration and expansion. Biology is the only tool of the cosmos at all able to produce a self-reflecting, consciously acting being which is able to ask questions of existence. Mental present, self-conscious living beings are also a wonderful possibility to define the concept time and let it become a meaningful reality at all. Without us and other beings who are also self-aware, the universe would virtually never have been real because no one would have been aware of it. Time would be an abstract concept and completely irrelevant. If everything happens automatically and no self-aware persons exist, then also nobody perceives the cause of things. Time is a feeling of self-aware beings for the fact that things happen. Time is a term which describes the constant change of the universe. If there were no self-conscious living beings, then the universe would not have already passed after 1 second. No, it would be rather as if it had never existed. If simple living beings, which act without being conscious of it, become persons, then this is a natural biological process, which is natural in the universe. Persons are consciously aware, that is, recognizing their existence, individuals of a species capable of wondering where they came from and, more or less, knowing what they are doing. Until life on a planet has reached this point, many billions of years can pass. Whether life on a planet reaches this point at all is, however, questionable and rare. The ego is a self-aware, knowingly acting, spatially limited space of consciousness which is located in the unlimited infinite universe. One must assume, however, that also living beings without an ego possess consciousness and perceive things as concerning them. However, they are not consciously aware of it. Whether perhaps even the simplest unicellular organisms possess a kind of basic consciousness, no one will probably ever be able to prove or disprove scientifically. After all, we cannot ask a bacteria if it has a sense of being there. That is, whether there is not also an individual, spatially limited space of consciousness within this tiny organism. Only the most complex living beings are aware of this natural consciousness and able to define themselves as I, and ask themselves why they exist. In some cases, these folks even manage to find a satisfying answer. Where does consciousness begin? Does consciousness begin at all? If consciousness never begins, then it never ends. The universe is infinite and all-embracing. The universe is everything that is. In an infinite universe, everything that exists even once must occur infinitely often. However, this does not mean that things are repeating. No. The structure of the universe is a fractal one. It's self-similar. There is no repetition and nobody, not a single person, exists twice or time delayed. Besides, I cannot find out anyway whether really a similar being A person who looks like me and does similar things exists somewhere. Such a thing cannot be checked. But even if there would be such a person, meaning a humanoid being which looks like me and does similar things, then this would still not be me, but someone else, another person, who would, if he exists, be presumably trillions of light years away. I am I. Ich bin ich. And I exist in this part of the universe with probability bordering on certainty only once. I am able to perceive and be aware of the universe. I am able to appreciate and enjoy the beauty of the universe. I know that I am, and can affirm that the universe is. I am able to recognize that there is not nothing, and that the universe really exists now, in this moment. Consciously aware, that is self-aware individuals, are the unpredictable, impulsive factor in an otherwise perfect universe. The imperfect is it which makes the remaining perfection perceptible at all. If nobody, meaning no person, would consciously pay attention to the universe and perceive it, then also nobody could confirm that it really exists. Life and consciousness belong to the universe and are present everywhere. Life belongs to the universe like radiation or gravity and is completely natural. We are the universe that perceives itself, each and every one of us.